Hello there, and welcome to Beyond the Sermon. In this week's message at New Armercy, we're looking at the steps of faith in Joshua chapter 3. In our study, we're reminded to prepare ourselves for the work of God. In our focal text today was Joshua encouraging the people of Israel after they had spent 40 years wandering in the wilderness, experiencing God's provision, the fulfillment of His promises, and now the time was right for them to take their inheritance. And as we looked at the text, we see Joshua reminding them, preparing them for what's next, where he tells them to consecrate themselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among them. You know, in our examination of the text, we saw really three things. We saw that call to first remember God's promises, to remember God's provisional care and how He's taking care of the people. We encourage us to look at our own stories, to look at the fingerprints of God in our life. We also are called to dedicate or consecrate ourselves, and to devote ourselves to our relationship with the Lord, growing in that intimacy, growing in our understanding of who He is, growing in our relationship. And the third thing was to expect to see God at work. Knowing that just as we saw in the scriptures, and just as we think about our own story, God continues to show up, continues to reveal Himself. And in the days ahead, as we look to a new year, a new chapter even here at New Armercy, we know that He has great things in store for us, but to be ready, to expect it. You know, and as we wrap things up, really the question that I feel like we should have taken home with us after the message this week is, are we ready or are we prepared to see God at work? And I pray that you are. As you focus on a new year, new opportunities, that indeed you remember where you've been and where you are now. You acknowledge the greatness of God. You set yourself aside to grow in your relationship with Him, and expect to see His wonders at work in your life. You know, going beyond the sermon a little bit, I'd like to do a little bit of show and tell, if I may. I guess it was about 6 years ago, myself and my middle son Joshua had the opportunity to go to I guess you could say a fan fest for our beloved St. Louis Cardinals. And many of you that know me, that I've been a Cardinal fan all of my life. But this particular winter, Joshua actually wanted it for his Christmas present. We went to this fan fest there in St. Louis. And during that, they make all kinds of presentations and such about the organization. You get to meet some of the prospects. But you also have a time where you get to meet the current players and get autographs. It's kind of my custom in the past, as I've had a chance to meet Major League Baseball players and athletes and others that I know are believers. Is if we're getting their autograph, is simply ask them, what's your favorite scripture, and ask them if they don't mind adding that to their autograph. Well, we had the privilege of meeting Paul Goldschmidt, who was our first baseman at the time. He's gone on to play with the Yankees and others since then. But he was just a rock in our infield, a Gold Glover, Silver Slugger. And so I had a chance to meet with him, and he visited with Joshua and I. But as we had a chance to talk, I asked him if he would, with his signature, write on there his favorite passage of Scripture. And what he does is he writes on there, I don't know how well you can see on this video, is Joshua 1:9. Now obviously that's a passage of significance to Goldie, as he thinks about his own journey with the Lord, and maybe thinks about how God has taken care of him in the past and what God calls him to do in the future. But even more so, this is a special passage for Joshua himself. Joshua, the replacement for Moses. So I'd like to share that with you in this week's Beyond the Sermon. So reflecting on Joshua chapter 1, and we'll back up a little bit from the context here, or in context from Joshua 1:9. We'll start in verse 5. This is from Joshua 1. It says this: "No man shall be able to stand before you all the days of your life." This is God speaking to Joshua. "Just as with Moses, so I will be with you. I will not leave you or forsake you. Be strong and courageous, for you shall cause this people to inherit the land that I swore to their fathers to give them." So again, he's telling them, Joshua, you're going to lead them into that inheritance that I swore I'd give them. Verse 7. "Only be strong and very courageous." A little bit of repetition there. "Being careful to do according to all the law that Moses my servant commanded you. Do not turn from the right hand or to the left, that you may be good, have good success wherever you go. This book of law shall not depart from your mouth. You shall meditate on it day and night, so you may be able to be careful to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have great success. Now, our focal passage, the one that Paul Goldschmidt notes as his favorite passage or his life verse that he scribed here on this batting helmet that now rests in my office, says this in verse 9, Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened, and do not be dismayed. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Now, I'm sure Paul Goldschmidt could talk about why that means something to him, but just imagine this in its original utterance as Joshua hears these words from God. This change in leadership, Moses is no longer the man he is. Probably the daunting task that awaits him as he seeks to lead the Israelites into the promised land, and God reminds him, I'm with you. Be strong and courageous. I'm going to be with you every step of the way. As we look at a new year, new chapters, that's a promise we can hold on to. First off, to be strong and courageous, and that God's going to be with us every step of the way. Pray that you guys have a good week, and that the Lord just continue to remind you of His promises and His love for you. We'll see you next time.